What's up? Steeler, what's going on, brother? Can you hear me okay? Got to take my pills. Pete! I figured it was Friday night. I didn't see anybody streaming anything. So I said, oh, well, I'll goof off and stream. Yeah, I know. You probably can't see any of that stuff. Oh, man. Damn diabetes pills made for a horse. Yeah, I watched my Caps beat the Penguins last night. Hey, there's no hockey on my TV anywhere tonight. I think they got like men's gymnastics on or something like that. All right, where are we at? Soviet mechanized movement. I got a little careless with these things last night and jabbed a hole in my damn arm, was bleeding all over the place. Soviet mech or motorized. I think I've already actually done all that. I don't think there's nothing else. Y'all can't see it. Let me update you, see if I can update you. Let's try this. We can get a closer look here temporarily. Let's see. Can you see Kiev right there? Kiev? The Germans have taken one of them. What's up, John? The Germans have taken one of the Kiev hexes. The Germans have crossed the Dnieper, right somewhere, yonder, somewhere. Charles! I can't tell where. Oh, yeah, where that 795 infantry unit is. They've crossed. They've also taken the bridge, crossed the bridge hex right yonder, where that victory point purple bead is. I changed from my little dice things to beads because these are easier to handle. I'm going to get used to using this thing. Kiev, Kiev, Kiev. Oh, come on. If I scratch my nuts, I don't want to hear anything. All right. So much for that. Soviet motorized. Nope, nope, nope. Done, done, done. No overruns, no victory points. Attack declarations. And they've got to make 2 mandated attacks, which is if you've not played this because of Joe Stalin. Oh, shoot, John. I like both of them. And I tell you why I like both of them. They both have the supply rules, which is weird because a lot of people, that's a headache. But, and I commented to somebody, and I think on YouTube, that I like the fact that you have to, what you want to do as opposed to what you can do makes, I mean, you know, I could have taken German units and tried to just rush through a gap right here and get behind, but there's no supply. So this, if you can, where I got my, this is a railhead. He came on 2 turns ago, and I got him along this rail line to this road. So my supply extent along the main road only was 21 hexes. So it stopped like right here initially. Well, now that puppy's all the way out to here and all the way out to here. So from that point, 7 hexes. If a German unit can reach it, he's in supply all the way down that road for 21 hexes till it hits an active railhead, which is right here. So my max is like out here now. So these guys are probably going to come back into supply. These guys here now will come back into supply. These 2 Panzer divisions have been out of fuel. So, and then up here, that guy got to this road junction. And so now this road net goes all the way to Cherkasy. And these guys here are covered now. So the dilemma, the next issue is I need, this one will be the fastest one, or right here. But the Russians are pretty heavy in these 2 bridgeheads, because you got to get a railroad going across this river somewhere. You have to. Gun barrel. And then you only get six rail conversion points a turn for the Germans, and you could only use 4 on any single line. And I'm on turn 32 now. So between either the next turn or it becomes mandatory on the 34th turn, is the Germans go into a fuel pause. And when they go into a fuel pause, everything, it's got bad and good. The bad thing is everything pretty much shuts down, including your rail conversion points. But the good is it gives you time to rebuild units, which that's the part of the system I haven't mastered yet. The Russian replacement process is just a serious headache. I'm getting better with it each turn, but it is a serious headache. Chuck, how's the weather in San Diego? So the Germans are now sitting on 20 victory points. And you know what? Where's my rule book? Grab my rule book. I guess I probably should have looked at this. I know they need a bunch to win this damn thing. Yeah, guys, I didn't see nobody stream tonight. I said, what the hell? Let's turn on the camera. At least we can shoot the shit, if anything. Let's see. Yeah, that doesn't tell me anything. Let's check this chart. Yeah, I kept trying to pick up my little dice things with the tweezers, and for some reason they would spin and I'd drop them and break shit. Oh, only 74? I can't complain. We've actually, our last couple of days have been in the high 40s and hit 50. Hell, anyhow, I know. Oh, here we go. So scenario 7, for the Germans to get a marginal win, they need 75 to 95 victory points. So we got 6 for taking that. If you play this with the Army Group South, if you match them together, you get like 11 points if you take that like in the first 19 turns. So they get 6 for each point for each of the Kiev hexes, and they've got one of them right now. So we're off and running. We got 20 victory points. Yes. Yeah, I got to check your video out on that. I'm not a big coin game person, Charles. I don't like them. I don't know what it is. I never played one, and maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's a lot of games that I don't like, but usually it's ones that I haven't played. So I probably need to get my hands on one and play one. The Soviets have to attack somewhere, and they have to have specific odds to do it. So, God, I don't want to give up the Crimea entrance here. We could attack across that river up there just to sort of shuffle off the odds. Come on, Jeff. Where'd you set the damn other tweezers? All right, let's see. All right, so anyhow, yeah, so the Soviets, when you roll for replacements, there's a chart, and you might hit what's called a mandated attack, where they have to make an attack either with 6 steps, or it has to be at least 3 to 2 odds. You don't have a choice, because if you don't make the attacks, you give victory points to the Germans. Let's see. Well, I guess it would be in that direction, down towards where the bottom half of, well, let's see. So Odessa is down this road right here. So yeah, I guess we're heading in the right direction. And this road actually cannot be used for supply because at the time of this operation, Odessa was still in Soviet hands. Yeah, so I don't know if you make out the Dnieper or not, but so Kiev, and then down through the pocket right in here, which, you know, you see all these units sitting here, they're German, they're an emergency supply because they can't hit a supply source. Hopefully soon they will. But, and then down towards the Crimea, and these guys, I haven't hit a release thing. They got another thing too with the die roll where you can release garrisons. And then you have group reinforcements on the reinforcement tracks. Between certain turns, if you roll one of those, you can release them. But the earlier you release a group is more victory points for the opponent. So, all right, Ruskies. We got to attack somewhere. We're not attacking him. Let's see. We got 3 sitting there. He's got 2. He'd have to attack both of them. Shit. These guys are in trouble here. And I don't know if they're going to be able to get out. And I don't have anything getting ready to run down here yet. If I lose one more Kiev hex to the Germans, all this crap up here will activate. Which I don't know if that'll help or not, because the Germans are going to be coming on from the north here before long. The little pincer. I tell you, for a big monster game, this thing's not overcrowded with counters. So, no, I haven't, John. Are those, what are they? Are those coin games, or are they just East Front games that I've probably never heard? Who makes them, for that matter? Fire in the East sounds familiar. All right, nothing doing there. Do we want to hit this guy? 5 and 4. Well, we can. No, that's not enough. He's only got 4 points. Jeez. Got to attack somewhere. Got to attack somewhere. And one of them's probably going to be right there. Might end up giving up a victory point. So if he throws artillery at this guy, he'll have 1, 3. Also, you have to. Zone of control in this game does not extend into major cities. Anybody, oh, GDW, okay. I don't even think I have any of those games, GDW games at all. If you attack a unit and there's enemy units that are adjacent to you that are projecting a zone of control into your hex, you have to attack them. Fortunately, the river takes care of that. There's no zone of control across the river or into major cities. So the only problem is this guy's sitting on a ton of shit in here. We got 1. Nah. Come on, Ethel. Well, that was good. He's got 7 sitting in there. And if you read those maps I posted on Facebook, this is where the Germans broke through in the south and started to encircle to the north at Kremenskut. So he's got 7 sitting in there. They could get after him. 1, 2. He just got activated. Come on. 3. Uses the artillery. That'd be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And that engineer would cancel out that darn city hex. So that would be 11, but I say 6, 7, 11, 7. And you know me, I use the MMP odds, just the way it goes. So that'd be 2 to 1. So we'll do a declared attack, a mandated attack. You're not supposed to do that. If I was playing with somebody, I wouldn't be allowed to do that shit. So all right, I'll put that there for now. All right, so we'll do an attack in there. Not that you need to do this shit, but still. All right, so right now it's sitting on 2 to 1. Never know, might get lucky. 2-1. What's interesting is you can attack across these rivers, but units can't retreat across them. And there's no bridge there. All right, so 2-1. Let's see who's going to use air before we do anything else. The Germans, Jesus. And are they going to use, nope, just one. So we'll draw one air out. Let it be a bomber, please, with close air support. And I always mess that up. Hold on. Air combo. Okay, so close air support's the first number, interdiction's the second. All right, close air support's the first. You ever have that one rule in a game that you can never remember it no matter how many times you use it? So he's got a 0 on his close air support. This is how I do it with, I roll dice to see whether I'm going to fly air in there and create boo-boos with the air. So he flew in there, and he's a freaking fighter. He has no close air support ability at all. He decided just to fly over, take some pictures, and they just shot at him. Because there is, oh, wait a minute, maybe not. Maybe not. Let's see. Is there a division in here anywhere? Yep, right there. All right. All right, so he got shot at. And on the chart, wrong chart, I rolled an 8. An 8 on air fire, 8 or 9. It's aborted unless firing unit JU, firing unit version now supply marker, a type of, nope. So he aborted, so he's not going to be a part of it. So he goes over to the flown box, which the Germans have a butt ton in their flown box right now. I haven't too much air combat, a little bit. Usually when you get both of them in the same hex, then you do some air combat, and it you can get some weird results. All right, so 2-1. Do the Ruskies have any more artillery anywhere? They don't, but the Germans have a butt ton of it. So this one's going to end up dropping, I guarantee you that right now. So we said he had 6. No, not him. He can't. Oh, yeah, it's one hex. Yep, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right, so he's going to have, Jesus. This is end up going to be, just change the odds of that attack real quick. Where's my chart? Just change the odds real fast. All right, so this went down to a 3-4. Oh, my God. Oh, well, it is what it is. They got to do it. And I think they're going to end up losing a victory point on one of these. All right, so we're going to go 3-4. They are in. Yeah, dumbass. Should have checked that first, too, huh? This is where it gets a little tricky with this, but it's not real bad. All right, they're in a regular city. 3-4 in a regular city. They're not getting any bonuses. So let's see. Regular city is +1 DRM, attacking armors halved. Then they had the 1, but he was only a 2 strength. So, all right, so it looks like it's going to be 3-4 and +1, which is not good for the Soviets. Oh, he rolls a 1. That's a 2. That's better. So on 3-4, he rolls a 2. Oh, wow. He even calls damage. He loses a step. Hey, David, how are you, brother? I've got that sitting over there. I have all of War in the West punched, and I was starting on War in the East. You are talking about where you combine the two together to make War in Europe? Well, the Germans held their ground. Certainly not going to lose him. Take a hit there. All right, so another interesting thing about this game is your step losses. If you have a unit with a defense strength of, I think it's 5 or better, and they take a step loss, you put one of these step loss markers underneath them. You don't turn him over, you put one of these step markers underneath him. Yeah, I know y'all can't see that. And it just reduces his abilities by like 2. And then if he gets hit again, he gets another step loss, then you flip him over to his other side. Wait a minute. DG has a computer war in Europe? I keep thinking about buying Warplan. Well, I'm going to play a computer East Front game. You know it's going to be Gary Grigsby's War in the East. All right. All right, Slavics. Which one are you going to take a loss from? You want to lose a train? I don't want to lose that armor. You got 2 of these. Let's lose one of these fuckers. C'est la vie. You're dead. You's blowed up. And I don't think they can be replaced. So they go in the cannot return box. All right, and I don't think they're going to make the other mandated attack, because if they do, we only got 2 places they can do it, and they don't stand a chance. Plus, they can't get enough points together to do it. So they're going to give the Germans a victory point for not making their other mandated attack. And you're supposed to do that at the end, but I'm going to do it right now. All right, so another feature about this game is in supply, you get attack supply points issued. And so let's say you get 7 attack supply points issued, and you have all your trucks on the board, or you have dumps on the board. Well, you only get so many counters for supply. So I have 5 right now. If I was doing supply for the Germans, in their pool, they only have 5 available units. So that's a 5 attack supply points. So what you got to do is try to get 2 of your MSUs, your mobile units, together, flip them into a depot so that you can have one of the markers back, so that you can get all 7 of the supply points on the board on the supply turn. Yeah, that's. I think it's why it took me so long to punch out clip my War in the West, because the counters, and the problem is they were kind of mixed, and I had to figure out which ones were part of War in the West and which ones were part of War in the East. And when I finally figured it out, I was able to start punching. So I took one of my GMT 3-inch white boxes, and I've got it loaded. I've got it loaded in that white box. Now that you said that, now I want to know where the hell it is. Yeah, there she be. There she be. That is what we're talking about, right? Yeah, eventually I want to play that one day. I got a couple games I want to unbox. Matt Chestnut sent me a game, Panzer Command. I want to unbox that one on camera. And I've got a couple other ones I want to unbox. Yeah, I can't even. I got those games that I used to do car interior repairs, like leather, vinyl, cigarette burns, stuff like that. And I did some mobile touch up and vehicle painting. And I did a job on a couch one day at a thrift shop here in West Virginia. And the couch was like near their back room where they brought everything in. And I happened to just peek over there while I was fixing this couch. And I saw 2 boxes. And it looked like SPI games and some Avalon Hill stuff sticking out of the box. So I stuck back there and took a look at it. And sure enough, it was. I didn't look in the box to see what it was. And I think the job I was doing like was $125. And I knew the owner. I said, hey, man, how about we trade? I'll give you the job for free. You give me that. Because they were selling these games for like 25 cents at an auction. And I said, let me take those 2 boxes of games. He said, shoot, yeah. Big man, I got a second copy of Terrible Swift Sword. I got both War in the East and War in the West with the War in Europe stuff. And I don't know, a bunch of other games that were in there too. But that was years ago. But now that I think about it now, hell, that was a steal for me. All right, Soviet attack did that axis. There was no axis reaction on that one. We did combat. We did Soviet movement phase. Now the regular movement phase. And in the regular movement phase, units that cannot move are those receiving replacements, armored trains that move during the motorized movement phase, units that have activation marker on them, which there's one underneath that train over there. They can't move. So another thing you have during the Soviet, because it's weird how the phases go. The axes go, they have movement, combat, then motorized movement. Then the Soviets have motorized movement, combat, and then regular movement. So if you're infantry, okay, so during the Soviet motorized movement phase, if you have a headquarters and a unit's within 4 hexes of a headquarters and the unit is not a motorized unit, the headquarters has a value on him, a command value. Usually it's 1 or 2. If he's not on his non-operational side, he can activate non-motorized units to move during the motorized movement phase. So the Soviets, and they have a lot of tough rules. But I mean, I get it. It makes sense. Their command structure was a lot different. So, all right. So regular movement. Oh my God. Get these zap. I can't touch any of that stuff yet. Got a zap unit here. I want to get him into a town. So he'll move there. This guy's a replacement. They're going to have to start shifting that way, I think. So I think we're going to, let me check the reinforcements. What's this? Was turn 32. And I don't think they get anything until 35. No, they don't. Any pools? Nope. Not until the next turn. Yeah, and I need to start doing that now too, but it seems like a lot of ours are shut down right now. And every time I go to Gettysburg twice a year. It's just like an hour away. And there were like 4 stores I would always go into in Gettysburg. Well, when I went last year, 3 of the 4 stores are gone. Been replaced with some, I don't know, some hippy dippy nuance crap that doesn't even belong up there. And then, of course, the one that was still left, they said they haven't had any war games in there in a couple of years. They said, well, I said, that ain't true because I bought one in here the year before. Let's see. Rail movement. Soviets get 12 a turn. They don't have any reinforcements coming on. Did I drop any reinforcements anywhere that are movable? Nope, not yet. All right, so regular movement. Let's rail move this guy. I mean, he's not strong, but still. Yeah, I'm not sure how this one's going to work out either. Because, I mean, if I had to guess right now, if these Germans get across, and I was rethinking this one because there's not many victory locations down here at all. There's a butt ton out there, but this thing goes through so we're here and it goes to here. So you got all those to go through. So I'm thinking is, okay, let's isolate what we can, if we can. And then I'm thinking driving down that way up yonder because, oh, you guys can't see it. I didn't show you. I'm sorry. Maybe you get a better picture this way. So over yonder, that's where all the victory locations are, right in the middle of that big bright light that's causing my camera to blink. So there's a boatload. And of course, the game's called Kiev to Rostov. And of course, Rostov is sitting over yonder. So that's the final objective, I guess. But for the meantime, we are here temporarily. Yeah, we go back to this. Both this and OCS, I love them both. Where are you at, David? I got to catch up on your 1918, 1919 videos. Hey guys, now Jess, don't get mad at me. I've never bothered to ask what country you're from, but guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, go to that man's website and watch his playthroughs. They're not in English, but I'm gonna tell you what, he's extremely, extremely thorough, and you can tell he's been doing it a while. I go there and watch, whether I can't understand it, but I'm gonna tell you what, I can understand by watching him play. He is very good. Y'all check him out. Get over on his channel. I'm telling you, he's got a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. He's playing Poland. Okay, so I kind of guessed in one of my comments something that you were Polish. Yeah, check his channel out, guys. I'm serious. He's playing 1918, 1919 right now, and he was playing a Vietnam game. And I got to catch up on that stuff because the stuff's extremely interesting. And he's, like I say, he's very thorough with his play. And you don't need to understand him to watch him. Oh, Minneapolis, David. Okay, all right. I used to live up in Waterloo, Iowa. Not too far away from there. All right. Let's train this guy around here. Let's get him out of here. So let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 46, 47, 48, 49. Where do we want to go? To Kiev or that way? We better go that way. 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60. Naturally, he'll go right underneath him. So that's 3 steps. We're going to rail him. And he's 4 steps. So that'll take, wrong one, Jeff. Wrong one, buddy. That'll take care of 7 steps. And I know if he can go from there to there, he can certainly go way the hell over here. So we'll take him all the way over to Borisopol. Put him right on top of that supply dump right there. Let's we'll turn him this way. So that's 7 rail points used. What do we got down here? Yeah, we got one more 7 and 4. That'll be 11. And then I got this guy here, 11. Can't move him. So let's do this. He's on a road anyhow. He's not. Oh, my pleasure, Jess. My pleasure, man. I enjoy. Oh, this guy can't move. I enjoy watching that stuff over there, man. There's a lot of guys out there. They've been kind of slow. I usually, check out Todd Wardrobe stuff. And Todd, I think, has been a little bit of a funk right now, but he'll come back out of it because I always love watching his stuff. So he can't do anything. So we'll go 1, 2. Let's see if he goes 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, we'll put him up here. Strategic movement. You have a chart that'll show you can move 1.5 as long as you stay 3 hexes or better. All right. I keep wanting to move some of these guys, and I probably should. I got to send forces over there, and this is really the only place I can do it from. Let's send the grunts. We'll send the grunts. So I moved 7. I did not rail this guy, so we'll move this guy. That'll be 11 on him. All right, let's take him. And we'll go with him. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 4, 5, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 70, 59, 60. All right. Yeah, I understand Jeff's videos better than I do some of these damn rule books. He's got a good following over there too, so you know he's doing something right. I don't know what I'm going to do here in the middle. I mean, I can't. I mean, this just now became a threat with the Germans crossing right there. Oh shoot! I know what I forgot to do. Hold on. I forgot to drop during the German engineering phase. I got that damn engineer. I'm rebuilding that bridge right there. I forgot all about that. Sorry. Did I forget over there too? Did I forget? No, I think that's the only place. Yeah, because they're not sitting on the bridge yet. So I forgot that one there. And since the Germans occupy the other side. Jess, what time is it over there? Regular movement. Well, you sound like my computer skills. I learned all them myself too. I didn't go to school. My first wife was German. I was married to a German when I was overseas, and it's kind of my second language. I don't think I'm as fluid anymore as I used to be because it's been years, but sometimes that's the best way to learn. Let's see. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen here because if they, to answer your question, John, I'm using historical weather. So we've got one mud turn coming up on turn 37, but I will probably be in the fuel pause. So 37 and 38 are mud turns. Then 41 and 42. Then it goes like mud, dry, mud, dry. So, I mean, I would say 90% of the turns are dry through these first two streams of the chart here. I don't know. I haven't played in a mud turn yet to know what the effect is. I know it just slows things down, limits your movement a little bit. And, certain unit types can't go through certain terrain. What are you doing up at 4 in the morning? All right. So, like I said, I'm not sure what I'm going to do here because these guys, if this armor gets, which they're going to recover their supply next turn, and these guys here, if they're across and they can clear some of this out, and this bridge gets rebuilt. So if you figure the heat, I turn the heat on here with the Germans, and then within 4 or 5 turns, they start arriving in up here and up here. I'm not so sure what the Soviet Union's going to do. I mean, historically, I think they were trying to hold and they pulled back a little too late, and a whole bunch of them got cut off. And I want to say encircled or cut off in this area here. I need to go look at the maps again just to validate that. But man, if you can tighten the screws on all of this stuff here, because you can't just say, okay, we're going to pull them out because then they can't do anything yet for another couple of turns. So what I keep doing is because of the way the odds chart works, it's not like really, really, really extreme unless you get like, well, first off, you want to roll low as the attacker. And unless you get really, really high odds, which I did have a couple over in here because the Soviets just aren't strong enough. You get 1 for 1s, 2 for 1s, 1 for 2. Maybe you get a 1 loss and a retreat. In a retreat in this game here, you got to retreat 2 hexes. But, usually if you're on the attacking side and that happens, you'll recover those lost hexes in your secondary movement phase. You have overrun, but you have, unlike OCS, you can overrun pretty much at any odds. You can't overrun in this one. You have to have particular odds. I think the Germans have to be 5-1 minimal. And I think the Soviets have to be 7-1, I believe. So I don't, unless there's some lonely headquarters sitting here by himself or an artillery piece, I don't see that happen. All right, this guy here, he's going to probably stay put. Good. They've got him cordoned off, but now they're going to fall back into supply. He can't let this guy cross either. Well, he's armor. He's not going across there. So these guys can move. So let's see if we can't get, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, because of zone of control. So let's take the security and the BDR unit. 1, 2, 3, 4. And let's move him in just to force the issue. We'll move him in there. 1, 2. Do we want infiltration? No, no, no. Good, good. They need some units down there to stop that, but they need units up here too. So I could spare this guy, I think. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Oh, good. He's got 5 movement points. He's across the river. Nope. So we'll drop him right there. How am I going to block this guy? I got engineers and infantry here. I got a headquarters. I got to get these headquarters out of the way too. Yeah, well, I got news for you. I can't wait to get the reprints because North and Center are the only two I don't have, and it's almost impossible to find a first version out there. And when you do, one does pop up, everybody knows that it'll sell for an arm and a leg. So, and I'd love that. I'd be satisfied with the first versions if I could get my hands on them. Yeah. Now, so that's I'm glad you said that, David, because in this game here you have another rule. I have not been using it. I did when I played my little smaller scenario, but you have I try to do it when I have an NKVD unit in a hex, but you have the no retreat rule, whatever the order, there was a 227 or whatever it was. But you have the option as the player to put down either a no retreat where they'll cause a +1 die roll modifier to the attacker, which like I say, the attacker wants to roll low. And then you have one called additional retreat where they end up retreating 3 hexes away from combat. But I haven't been using it. And the Germans have it too on their side. So, but I would say that if I get into a spot where it's just, I've got to hold it no matter what, regardless of what happens, then maybe I'll drop that in there. But some of these things I try to do by a die roll, like my air stuff. I do my air by die roll so that I don't have to think about it. Because when you're playing yourself, you send a fighter here, you just counter yourself by sending an enemy fighter in there to fight him. And I would rather it be kind of in a half sense. It's a little more authentic, in my opinion, because I'm sure air units got dispatched to areas where actually nothing happened. It was just a wasted flight. Or sometimes they just flew and they ended up flying into just heavy flak and nothing else because there really wasn't anything there. All right. The headquarters has got to move. I'm going to move him. We're going to move him back here. And we're going to take this grunt, move him up. We're going to take him, and we're going to move him up in here with this guy. Leave that marker there. During regular movement, you cannot do zone of control to zone of control. So he's not going anywhere. Validate that. Hold on. All right, let's see. Effects on movement. And this is cool. This game here, this series, they have this chart where they tell you what types of movement you can conduct during each phase. And that's great because I don't know if I've ever seen another game like that. Kenneth, what's going on, buddy? All right, so may move directly from enemy zone of control to enemy zone of control during a regular movement phase is no, other than Axis motorized infiltration movement, Axis and Soviet cavalry or ski unit infiltration movement. And for cavalry to do, so infiltration movement is simple. It's zone of control to zone of control. But for cavalry to do it, it has to be through, they have to be in a non-clear hex and they have to be moving to a non-clear hex. So everybody else, I don't think it matters, especially with armor and stuff like that. Which the Soviets aren't sitting on a ton of armor, and most of the armor they got is just little piddly crap. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere. You're not going anywhere, and I got nobody else to send you guys. That is just unbelievable. He's going to have to come out of that. God, that guy's a cross. I can't do that. He's going to have to go. He's going to have to go in 1, 2 there. Man, that's pretty much it. Let me go down here to the Crimea area. Can't release those guys yet. Oh, so I got to put there. The Soviets get 2 attack supply points, which they have two units available. And also for this game, if you're playing the campaign in Kiev, you cannot have more than 4 supply points within 4 hexes of Kiev. If you do, you got to eliminate them. But don't get me wrong, that's not an issue when they're only getting 2 per turn. And I can rail both of them. And also they can come in any city, town, or whatever, city or major city that's owned and in general supply, so you can pretty much drop them in anywhere, at least for now. All right, do I want to do, he can move half, so he's going to do a 1 hex movement to there. Let's see. No, because of the damn zone of control. 1, 2. No, he's going to stay right there. Artillery's good. Dump is good. Let me move these grunts up, I guess. 1, 2, 3, 4. Gonna move this guy. I need to move him closer. So we'll move him 1, 2. Move him to there. He's good. Can't touch any of that. He's still good. They've got 1 there. Is he in a town? No, he's not. But what we will do is we'll bring in 1, 2, 3. We'll bring him down to there, flip him over so that we can have this unit back on the next turn. And then, so see what I'm saying? They're both 1 strength units. The MSUs are 1 strength units. And then when you flip them, if you have 2 of them, you flip them over and they become a supply dump. And then you get your truck back. So like I say, if you're limited to the number of trucks you have, you're going to have to do that quite a bit, actually. And you can do the flip it during any phase at the end of any phase. So speaking of Rostov 41, if I ever get Gazala done over there, I think Rostov 41 is going to be the next one I drop on the little small table, because you know this is going to be sitting up for a while. That or until I decide I'm not good enough to finish it. But I will do my best. My bestest. So I've got a supply dump sitting here. I don't need that. I've got that guy sitting there. And I probably need to move him, actually. So let's move him. 1, 2. And then we'll drop him. Oh, wait a minute. Now do this. We'll drop him. And then we'll move him back here. And we'll flip that into a dump. All right, and leave that there, and then we got our truck back for the next turn. Because the Soviets only have like 3 or 4 actual trucks. The rest are horse-drawn carts. I'm going to guess that MMP's Rostov, sitting over yonder, does that if anybody's played it, does that cover where Manstein was able to keep the pocket open long enough for, was it First Panzer Army to come back through the gap at Rostov so that they weren't completely cut off? All right, that's all of that. Soviet engineering. Oh, they don't have the air transport because it's weighty. All right, Soviet engineering. All right, they can speed their strong point construction. All right, so they've got some that can flip. Let's do that first. All right, they've been waiting for a while, so we'll flip them. I think I got a couple more too. Yeah, over here. Flip them. Flip him. these guys. And why I'm so worried about this right now. With this guy. Yeah, most of the phases in this game, you have like 2 or 3 phases that are pain in the ass. The other ones are pretty routine. You know, the movement and combat stuff's pretty simple. So, all right, now we need to drop our new ones. We got one of each. Well, unless if you drop these things on an engineer, they can instantly come to life. But these aren't. There's really no valuable places up there for me to put these damn things because you can't drop them in a zone of control, and they got a bunch of them up there already. So we're going to drop this one here. And we'll drop this one on this guy. Let me guess too. The cats only come to visit when the tables go up, right? All right, cutting access rail lines. Nope. Remove overrun. I haven't had any of that yet. Destroy Nepa River bridges. I've already destroyed all the bridges I want to for the time being. I need escape routes. Spend Soviet RPs. Oh yeah, replacements. I got 2 replacements right there that I'm doing. And I saved 2 points for it, so we're going to burn those. Oh, you set that Rostov 41 to him? I'm going to play it. I want to play it because I like to have the sort of break. Oh, they go full strength. Good deal. Something because, like I say, you know, if I play this and I don't have nothing else going, I'll burn out, and I don't want to do that because right now I don't because I'm enjoying the hell out of this. And I was enjoying the last Blitzkrieg, but towards the end there, there was something else I needed to do, so it came down. So you're looking, yeah, the camera's looking from the north to the south. Yeah, and Rostov is way over yonder, where most of the victory hexes are. And as John Longshore pointed out, Romania and Odessa. Odessa is this way. So Romania, whatever, Hungary, all the other stuff's over that way, whatever countries those are. Yeah, I don't think Kev's he's not down on SCS, but he's not like super hyped on him. He thinks there's too much left out, and I can see that. I can see that where he would think that. I mean, you come on, you know as well as I do. He loves this kind of shit right here, and I was kind of shocked to hear him when he was talking with Tony the other day about his favorite one of his ancients. I used to own Caesar at Elysia from Avalon Hill, long time ago. I got a whole bunch of games that disappeared. I don't even know where the hell they went. I'm sure one of the multiple ex-wives probably just threw them in the trash. But I never, I watched Tony from Tony's Board Life playing Great Battles of History or whatever it is. I'm sorry, but this map here, this is about as plain as terrain as I want to see on a map. Give me terrain features so that I can set up my defensive structure or whatever. Had a box out of shape here. Straighten that shit out. Hey, did anybody else order Unconditional Surrender? The Western front version that's come out? Did it get the GMT update that it made the final and it's going to printing or whatever? I got an email from them on that one. All right, well, let's get through this turn. Well, we spent a little time tonight, and I think I'm going to go shoot some tanks. All right, so we spent the replacements to move units. I don't have any more left to spend. To move units from eliminated to the cadre box. I don't have any more to spend. Eliminate excess attack supply points at Kiev. There aren't any. Soviet surrender phase. Perform surrender checks. Oh, yeah, this is an interesting rule. This is an interesting rule. Where's my rule book? .21.0. I always have to look at this. I don't think there's anybody that needs to surrender yet. Oh, let's see. A surrender check for each Soviet-occupied hex that is adjacent to an Axis combat unit that has a zone of control, that does not have a zone of control band on it, and it cannot trace a line of hexes of any length free of Axis units. Okay. No, they're okay. Be nice if Kiev would just surrender. Be nice if they just surrender. Now I saw, who is it? Is it Mo's background picture or Gimpy's? I want to say it's Mo's background on Mo's game table. I want to say it's his background picture that's absolute victory. Gimpy is or no, is it? No, it's Gimpy. Gimpy's the one that likes absolute victory, I believe. Which one are you talking about, Kenneth? Which game? Oh, in not the Gazala game I'm playing, right? And see, I haven't tried that yet, David, but I've seen a couple people with it. It looks kind of interesting. I mean, I think, I have Wellington's Victory. I have 2 versions of Wellington's Victory. The old SPI. Oh, STS group. I don't have that one. Is that one of the older ones that you can't get anymore? All right, there's no surrenders. Step loss and victory point tracks are good. Remove all the activation markers. I don't have any non-OP headquarters. All right, and I convert the mandated attack. I already did that. I have one unit under an activation marker. Where are you hiding at, buddy? Where are you hiding? Are you here? There you are. All right. So that takes care of that. All right. Well, there's, y'all just got to see me play the Soviet segment. So, all right. So your replacement turns and your engineering phases. Those are the tough ones. Those are the ones, the replacement one, most of all, that's the big time consuming one. So the things that you really, really got to think through in this game are much like OCS. And I like the fact that they provide in movement that along with OCS, that you can move your supply stuff forward on trucks or whatever. This one's similar. However, the difference in this one is, like for the Soviets, during their motorized movement phase, when the armor and all the cab and stuff move, you can't move their supply trucks, their MSUs. And in the Germans, their movement phase comes first, and then followed by their motorized movement, which I guess would account for all the exploitation and encirclement and breakouts and stuff they did. So now also in this game here too, where I think this is a little easier to deal with than OCS is you're not putting a bunch of point markers all over the place to draw supply from, which also can have its advantages. Although I know that the cost to burn supply for an attack in that game is heavy. This one here, you can have a hex entirely surrounded with 6 stacks with 10 stacking points in each one. And if they're all conducting the same attack, it's only 1 MSU you burn, 1 supply point, 1 attack supply point. So that's, which I think makes the game a little easier to handle. Now, where does that have a deficiency at is if you don't have many supply trucks that are within 7 hexes. And I think in mud turns, it's like 5 hexes. So But I do think that the supply for both of these OCS and East Front, I think they work very, very well. And like I say again, like I said at the beginning, it's it's what you can do as opposed to what you want to do. You're just not going to tackle along the front with everything. Although I'm sure I know there were scenarios where you pretty much can do it. And it's funny too because Kevin and I were talking about this the other day about he always found that he had more supply than he had MSUs to move them, and he was right. He's exactly right because I was talking about the trucks and the wagons. The Germans might only have 6 trucks available and 3 wagons available each turn or period for the whole game, but you're getting 12 attack strength points a turn. You're going to lose those attack supply points. You're going to lose those supply points because you don't have enough vehicles to move them. Which, if you play Gary Grigsby's War in the East, up in the top right-hand corner, they have that little thing that shows you your vehicle count or whatever, because it accounts for trucks breaking down and stuff like that, which I was never able to master that. I love that game. I'll start playing that game and I'll play through the first year and I'll be sitting in Moscow. I've even taken Moscow a couple of times. And then I never move on to the second year. Never fails. I always get distracted. A butterfly flies by or something and I get distracted. So, but this one here, I'm going to grind this thing out. And I think the reason I probably will is because it's, like I said earlier, it's not crammed with counters all over the damn place, which when you're looking at it, it makes it easier for you to look at this thing and say, okay, well, I can see that if I can get across here, there's no marshes or swamps here. There's an option. Well, there's not a whole bunch of units sitting there, so let's attack and hit them in the face there. Kiev, I could have simply just left Kiev alone and pulled some of those German troops, but I kept looking at the numbers. I'm like, why not attack and take it? Let's get Kiev out of the way. Go ahead and flip the switch on. Well, so one of the dilemmas could be is, I guess it doesn't matter really, because if the 2 hexes of Kiev get taken by the Germans, then there's a whole bunch of stuff that gets activated. If they don't take it, the stuff's going to get activated anyhow on turn 35. Which, by the way, let's move this up. And I'm probably going to have to go into the German fuel pause on this turn right here. I'm not going to have any choice. Although I sure would like to make one more attack on Kiev and go ahead and take that city. Because then I've already broke through to their east. Only problem is I can't move nothing but infantry across that shit unless I get a bridge thrown down, which I still got 2 more German bridgeheads I can use. I like the bridge rules in this game too. You get a couple of them, and you build them, use them, and then when you want to tear it down and go somewhere else, you just tear it down. So they kept it real. You don't just throw it up. You've got to have zones of control, stuff occupied, and things like that. Helps if you have an engineer. You don't have to have an engineer, but they made it simple, but with enough realism to be fine. Air, I think the air combat in this game, I think it's also simple too. I think air combat in OCS is simple. So artillery, easy on the German side, a little trickier on the Soviet side. If you don't have an operational non-interdicted headquarters, then only 1 Soviet artillery battery can help, as opposed to 4. So any Soviet artillery stacked with an operational headquarters can, so you can have 10 of them in there, can all apply their strength or their fire strength to a defense or an attack. Not stacked with them, up to 4 can to 1 battle, but if the headquarters is interdicted or not operational, then it's only 1. So, yeah, you're right. Exactly. Hundreds and hundreds of miles of nothing named that. Because like I say, you just looking at the victory locations up here. So we're 1-1 here at Kiev. The Germans have one, and they're going to have the other one here shortly. And you can't see it, but above it, there's literally one right up here. It's a bridgehead. And then the next one is back there underneath the camera. And then everything else is flowing southeast towards Rostov. So it's there. Yeah, there's not. Well, you got to kind of wonder though that if you shatter this front over here, the minute these guys get active, they got to run. They pretty much don't have any choice because all of that armor is going to come in from behind them over there. So if they don't get out, they're going to get trapped. And there's really no objectives up here. I mean, if the Germans take those, what are they? Maybe 2 or 3 points, 4 or 5 points down here to Poltava. But boy, you let them start getting in the back end over here because you figure Kharkov's sitting right over yonder. You can just barely see the first chip sitting there. But Kharkov is 3 hexes. It's the biggest major city on the map, I believe. Yeah. And then there's probably 40 points, victory points over towards Rostov, and they're all very close to each other. And then along the Dnieper, you've got, where like I said, I think once you shatter this and you get this thing flowing this way, these become a little easier to handle. And there's just really nothing down here towards Crimea. And so, and like I say, I've got all the reinforcements on the charts, but I've never looked at where they come in from. If there's a specific hex they arrive at. So I haven't checked it out or anything yet. All right. But I'm going to tell you guys, if you all got this thing and you can play just they all have little single scenarios you can play. Pull the thing out, fold the map up, set it up in that area and play. Because I'm going to tell you what, these things will, like OCS, these will test your brain to play these things. So this started, Kenneth, August of 41, halfway through August 17th of 41. The Army Group South game, which kicked off Barbarossa, attaches to this map here and up there. And was it von Rundstedt or Guderian? I don't remember which one it was. Von Rundstedt. He drove in. He was in charge of South. So, and of course, Kiev. It's kind of hard to say it, but so here's Kiev. So the Pripyat marshes are right here, starting right here, going that way. And so the Germans worked below it. And from what I remember right, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, the Germans never seriously attacked Kiev. They didn't have to. Because when the pincer started from here going north, and then the units coming in from the north to cut them off, these guys had to turn and run. But like I say, there's no victory locations up there. You've got Kiev, and then there's 3 sitting out there by themselves. So until you come across those plains up there, there's nothing going on. But I don't know what the count was, but I'm assuming the Germans cut and circled a butt ton of Soviet troops that surrendered. And then, of course, eventually, I'll tell you what I'm thinking about now, because this is Rostov. Is the only stuff I've read, I've got, my man signs Lost Victories, his little diary thing, where he takes over 11th Army, and he's told, take Rostov and take the Crimea at the same time. I mean, come on. Maybe if he'd been given the whole Army group when he was given those instructions, that'd been a little different story, but he wasn't initially. So he decided, from what I remember, to screen in front of Melitopol, or Melitopol, wherever you want to call it, and then take the major part of his forces and blow through the isthmus here, which that, if you think about that, if you ever get a chance to read about that, he blew through these guys in that wide open isthmus, dug in, all entrenched and everything like that. He smoked them. And you talk about, there's literally no terrain there. And he was able to blow through there. And of course, we know he did take Crimea, and he got slapped in the face a couple times in the Crimea, which I got that one sitting over there too. But he managed to secure it. And then when they crossed over and started going for the Caucasus with Case Blue, it was just too much. Just too much. College group played Wellington's victory. Nave versus Wellington's a good one. That's a good learning one for Wellington's victory. Yeah. I was never able to. I never got through Wellington's victory. Just really never had the chance to. I mean, I set it up, played a little bit of it. I was never able to keep it up. Yeah, because John, now you say that, I remember reading, looking at the log maps out there, that it was about mid-September, I think, when I started seeing a 3rd Panzer coming down into the area from behind, and seeing, I think it was 11th and 14th Panzer blowing up through here, and Kiev was still occupied by the Russians. All right, well, guys, that's the end of game turn 33. I think I'm going here and stuff some food in my face, and maybe we'll shoot a few tanks. Anybody play World of Tanks? Come on. I know somebody does. I still play it, have fun with it. I'm grinding out my Russian tank line right now. I've got all the Tier 9 heavies. I'm at the Tier 9 heavies. I've got 1 Tier 10 released. I've got a Tier 10 tank destroyer released. And I'm working on the other line and working on the mediums. That's where I take my anger out. I plan on playing a lot of this week, or this weekend, much as I can anyhow. I got a lot accomplished at work today, so. Yeah, that's exactly right, John. I wish I would have kept the keyboards that I banged my fists on and shattered, because it would fill two rows of my shelf at the bottom there. All right, guys, I'm going to close this one out. Thanks for y'all coming over and checking this thing out. I'll try to do some more this weekend. It's hard to just live stream this one play, because I want to get the camera and get it down in there close. So maybe when I'm doing the German movement tomorrow or something with combat, I'll film it wirelessly. That way I can put my cell phone on the tripod and stick it right in there tight. All right, gang, I'm going to shut this thing off. Thanks for coming over here.